So plot could make you cry because of the suspense that the plot, the storyteller create. Yeah. Okay. I will share with you my PPT. Okay. So just now we talk about which one is the most important element in a movie, and some of you agreed to say that performance is probably the most important element. But how could performance or character there without story? So people could also argue that story is the most important element. So film wouldn't be there without story. Yeah, so it depends on how you argue. Yeah, you could say the performance, you could say the character, you could say the story itself, because it is impossible for a movie to be there without any story. Ya kan? Jadi terserah saudara, tetapi mungkin bagi beberapa orang story is the most important thing, because the actor or the character is only part of the story. So it depends on which story, what kind of story, yeah, that you are crafted or cultivated or arranged into movie. Yeah? So I think we live in stories. Yeah, I think every day you, I, and everybody has stories. You also spend lots of time telling story or retell story or write stories or listen to stories or watching stories or read stories being told. And that could strengthen you as a human being. Yeah? It could make you more knowledgeable. It could make you understand better. So we live in stories. So narrative or stories are integral part of human experience in the world. I think the book tell you this, yeah? Narrative or stories are integral part of human experience. So you cannot be separated from stories. Yeah, that's why stories are very popular in our everyday life. Yeah, and there is profession to become storyteller or filmmaker. Actually, filmmaker are storyteller at the same time. Yeah, novel writers or poem writers or poem reader, YouTube maker, also a storyteller. Yeah, so it could create profession. Yeah, and our job here is to analyze movie or analyze film, is to help, yeah, mediate. Yeah, mediate itu memediasikan, ya, to mediate story to audiences or to more audiences, yeah, through film. So in the stories we have, of course, as what you have stated before, has central characters. So your story is about central characters, yeah? About the life or the agony or the sorrow or the anger of central character. Yeah? And then it must also have setting of place and time. When you talk about a story, you cannot, omit, yeah, the setting of place and time, when and where. Yeah, normally have beginning, middle, or end. Normally it starts with beginning, middle, and end, but in some cases, like what happened in Pulp Fiction, if you watch Pulp Fiction, I think you have jumping stories. Yeah, and for some lazy readers, I think Pulp Fiction is a very difficult story to follow and might, reduce your enjoyment. But for some advanced readers, that kind of story also arouse pleasure or enjoyment, yeah, or attraction. So the question about storytelling is whether or not the story is effective, yeah? Is told effectively. If you are happy with the plot, if you are happy with the arrangement, then it could say that it could be said that the story is effectively told karena membawa dampak yang baik gitu ya. But if it cause you confusion and it end up with your frustration, that we could say that the storytelling is a failure or flaw. Yeah. So normally the story follow logical order. Yeah. So which plot is used to create logical order. Jadi sebetulnya endingnya itu adalah logical order. Tapi logical order juga debatable ya, karena tergantung siapa penerimanya. Kalau dia bukan orang yang biasa di challenge dengan cara penceritaan, maka logical order ini bisa tidak tertangkap. Sebagai contoh, as I said in Pulp Fiction ya, for some readers, it could cause illogical order ya. Jadi Pulp Fiction bisa menyebabkan illogical order ya, because you are frustrated or confused by the way the story is told. So for you who who enjoy playing with order of thinking, then maybe you will be happy to have or to read or to watch film like Pulp Fiction. Yeah, you could try it. Yeah, later. So when you tell a story, when you tell a story to your friend, yeah, did you do it spontaneously, sekedar menceritakan saja, or did you plan it first? Ya, did you use particular strategy? Nah ini yang which is related to plot. If you just do it spontaneously, well, naturally, then you don't have to create plot and strategy of telling, yeah, and maybe the impact will be different with you who plan it first. Yeah, you plan it first and think, maybe I would like to emphasize in this part and I would omit this part. I would like to do it this way. Yeah, this way itu bisa start from the ending. Like if you watch Rose for Emily, later maybe you should check out the film Rose for Emily. Rose for Emily is based on a short story, but then is also transformed or created into a movie, and the story has a non-chronological order. Yeah, non-chronological, so it doesn't start from beginning and then middle and then end, but it starts from the end. Yeah. It starts from the funeral. Yeah, it starts from the funeral of Emily, and then a flashback to the beginning is when the father is still alive, and then the father died. And when the father died, Emily doesn't want the people to let them bury the body. Yeah, so they have to wait for 3 days. Yeah. And then it move into the middle. The middle is when Miss Emily refused to pay tax because she assumed that she is from aristocrat level of class, yeah, high class family at that time, yeah, and then that she also have problem with making relationship. But then he falls in love with the boy Homer ya, Homer Baron. Yang nonton mungkin nanti tolong dicek ya, Homer Baron. Ya.
Homer, who was the gay man, right, ma'am?
Yeah, that's right. And then at the almost end of the story, you see that siapa? Homer Baron Homer disappear, yeah, and then you also have the scene when the people open the door. When Emily died, then the people open the upper room. The door is closed, and when they open it, that's the most scary thing, is when the people find out that in the bedroom upstairs, they find the body, the corpse of Homer. Yeah, it's already died, of course. Yeah, a skeleton. Yeah, it becomes a skeleton, and it show that Emily, for a long time, has killed Homer and keep the dead body next to her, her bedroom. I mean, next to her when she sleeps all along. Yeah, the way. Yeah, okay. So that's how the story is told. Yeah. Jadi kalau dirancang dulu, maybe then the impact or the effectiveness of the story will be different from when you only do it spontaneously, yeah, or naturally. Okay. Yeah. So there is a need for understanding, of course. So you tell the story in such a way so that your audience or your friend who listen to you understand. That's the most important thing. But beside understanding, you might up to engagement. Yeah. So the audience or your audience want to be engaged, or you want them to be engaged. Yeah. You want them to arouse their attraction or impression. Yeah. But you also want them to admire you. Yeah, as a storyteller. Yeah. Yeah, beside for pleasure and also challenge. You want the story to be more challenging for them. Yeah. So this need, yeah, the need for understanding, engagement, attraction, impression, admiration, pleasure, and challenge might, yeah, change the way you tell the story to your audience. Yeah. Kalau cuma understanding saja, ya sudah, maybe chronological order will be better. Yeah. But what about this? What about attraction, impression, admiration, ya, challenge, ya? Maybe then you will think differently. Oh, kalau cuma gitu, it's very plain, ya. Maybe there is nothing interesting. So you create or you tell the story in such a way. So that's what we talk about plot. I mean, what relate you to plot, ya. Jadi itu yang kemudian membuat Anda atau kita semua, when you or us tell a story, you need particular way of telling. Oh, that's what so-called plot. Yeah. Now, what about the story itself? What stories do you like to read, or to watch, or to tell, or to listen to? There are many themes. Yeah, this is only just amount of themes that mostly use to tell as topics, or yeah, guideline, yeah, of telling of the story. So most popular story is story about love, yeah, good and evil. Yeah, so a battle between good and evil, I think, is lifelong story. Yeah, yeah. Death, yeah, humanity. I think topics about humanity is more and more important today, because some human lose their humanity. We have to refresh our humanity. We have to recall whether we are really human or we are more animal than human. So our humanity is questioned nowadays. Yeah. So stories of humanity is getting more popular. Yeah. Also about perseverance or determination, I think it's also important, especially for young people. Yeah, determination, coming of age. Yeah, I think some people get frustrated because of getting old or lose their position and beauty. Yeah. So coming of age is also a very popular topic. What kind of story? It's story about war and revenge is also lifelong story, eternal story, I think. Also story about justice. Nowadays, our justice is also challenged. Yeah, we get more and more, injustice. Yeah, unjust, yeah, all the time. Also, the battle between human and nature. I think we have problem with environment and ecology, whether we respect nature more or we respect nature less. It's question nowadays. Yeah? Also, the story about human versus machine, I think, because machine is getting more important and then human is marginalized by machine, yeah. Also story about human failure, the tadi seperti the story of the silent child is the failure of understanding, yeah. And then transformation, sacrifice, faith, survival. You could add more and more and more stories, topic, yeah, story topics. Yeah, what stories? Oh, stories about apalagi friendship, mungkin apalagi. You could add more and more later on, yeah. And then a narrative structure, yeah. What is narrative structure? So actually narrative structure is particular arrangement tadi ya, particular arrangement of events within a structure. So every film has narrative structure. Ya, sebetulnya narrative structure itu ya plot itu sendiri, tetapi mungkin lebih dari sekedar plotnya. Kalau plotnya kan the skeletonnya ya, the skeleton of this story. Tapi naratif itu termasuk kemudian point of view-nya juga di situ gitu. Jadi plot is part of narrative structure. So you could choose the simple narrative structure or the complex narrative structure. Flashback or flash forward or combination of flashback and flash forward, like what you see in Rose for Emily. So what is plot? I think this is also from your book. Yeah, you have to understand this. So plot refers to the main events in a story composed as a connected sequence of events tadi ya. Tetapi sebetulnya plot itu adalah the way the story is told. Nah, compositionnya itu menggunakan ini connected sequence of event. Nah, cara connecting sequence of eventnya bagaimana tadi ya, sudah ya, bisa kronologi atau yang lain. The plot can be made up of several seemingly unconnected threads, seperti yang di Pulp Fiction. Di awal, you will not understand the connection between one act to one scene to other scene. It seems unconnected. It seems to be unconnected threads, yeah? But as long as they are presented in a way that communicates to the viewer that this action and events are connected in some way. Lalu Anda bekerja untuk connecting ini tadi. Nah, kemudian plot itu kan berarti bagaimana menghubungkan event dengan event, apakah renggang ataukah ketat ya. Kalau ketat berarti connection-nya sangat mudah dilihat gitu ya. Kalau dalam in Pulp Fiction the connection is very banyak gap-nya ya, sehingga the more gap we have in the connection, then the whole ya, whole atau gap-nya semakin panjang, the harder the watcher must work ya, gitu. Jadi makanya tergantung kamu ini ketika storytelling, apakah ingin the watcher to understand faster ya, easier, atau Anda ingin dia challenge tadi, makanya the question of challenge and sophistication. Kalau Anda ingin the readers to be challenged and admire your work, ya, then maybe you will choose ini tadi connection yang renggang, yang gapnya besar ya, hole-nya besar. Jadi pekerjaannya ada pada the watcher. So it also relate to your relation to your watcher or the spectators, yeah. If you want them to find it easy, then you will choose a chronological, and then the whole is not that many, yeah, so that they are not very much challenged with working, yeah, to connect. Yeah, okay. The story is the basic chronological order of events. The plot is the rearrange. Tadi sudah ya. Jadi basic ingredientnya ya story itu, ceritanya. Tetapi plot itu rearrange, jadi dibuat sedemikian rupa, kan strategi ya sebetulnya itu. Highly selected chains of events in the film that has been given its own internal logic. Ya, jadi by using narrative's ability to move backward and forward. Jadi kekuasaannya kan ada pada storyteller kan, dia punya authority ya, to move backward or forward through times and space and rearrange the elements of the simple stories to create challenging plot ya gitu. Okay, you understand the difference then between story and plot, I hope. Okay, what makes good plot ya? Ini explain the chain of events in a story. Jadi dia memiliki plot yang bagus jika dia bisa explain the chain, walaupun the way that he or the storyteller or he or she explain itu bisa challenging atau isi tadi ya gitu, tapi dia pasti menunjukkan chain of events-nya tadi ya. Kemudian show causal relationship between each event. Jadi harus ada, meskipun di Pulp Fiction itu thread-nya itu sangat renggang gitu ya, tetapi pasti ada causal relationship, pasti akan ketemu ya, meskipun cara penemuannya itu bisa lama gitu ya bagi particular reader gitu ya. Connect the action and events in logical manner. Jadi endingnya adalah logical manner. Jadi sebetulnya ending-endingnya adalah bagaimana Anda selaku spectator itu kemudian menerima the whole story as a logical narrative gitu, narasi yang logis gitu. Nah itu kan. Nah jangan lupa, don't forget that the elements of plot is actually conflicts ya. The most important element in plot is conflict sebetulnya. Story without conflict is impossible. Jadi story yang menarik itu pasti ada konflik. Although the conflict could be yang misalnya di action movie itu physical ya, tapi most always is psychological ya. Jadi tidak selalu physical. Sometimes it also has psychological or what so called inner conflict ya. Inner conflict, konflik batin ya. Conflict can also happen between man or human being versus society. Yeah, many cases of story is conflict between man and society, or man versus nature. Yeah, I think many stories nowadays or contemporary stories are also between man and nature, and then man against himself or herself. Yeah, against his or her faith or dignity, something like that. Determination is question, yeah. Okay. So types of plot, I think it's only a repetition of what I have stated, yeah. It could be chronological order. It is the arrangement of events in the order in which they happen on a timeline. Seperti timeline kita yang natural ini ya. This is a straightforward beginning, middle, and end ya. Jadi pasti gini kalau chronological order ini yang paling mudah untuk children's film. I think most always they use chronological order, but ya tadi for the sake of challenge, for the sake of attraction, for the sake of sophistication, some storyteller use non-chronological ya, like flashback or flash forward or combination of them ya. Nah, kemudian types of plot juga adalah the most common framing device is 3-act structure ya. Jadi yang beginning, middle, end itu disebut 3-act structure ya. Kemudian ada juga yang selain 3-act structure bisa juga dibuat 5-act structure ya. Jadi tidak cuma beginning and beginning, middle, dan end, tapi dibuat lebih rinci lagi ya. Exposition ini modelnya Shakespeare ya, tapi diturun-temurun sampai sekarang juga masih banyak digunakan. Exposition ya, set up the story providing any contextual background ya, biasanya place-nya and time ya. But most importantly, it contains the inciting moment. The incident sets the story in motion. An incident forces the protagonist to react ya. Jadi ada sesuatu yang happen to react so that the protagonist react gitu ya. It requires resolution producing narrative tension ya. Kemudian diikuti rising action ya. Kemudian climax, falling action dan denouement ya seperti itu. Jadi most story selain middle and then beginning, middle, end juga menggunakan yang lebih rinci lagi seperti ini gitu ya. Nah ini kalau digambar ya, exposition, inciting incidents, raising action, and then crisis ya, and then climax. I would like you later to watch a movie, and then I would like you to also analyze the plot of the story using probably this yeah, if you wish yeah, in detail, in a more detail yeah, and then falling action and then resolution. So what happened in the story yeah? And then plot in Rose Emily is non-chronological yeah. However, it also follow this type yeah. Introduction ya, when Jefferson citizen gather for Emily funeral ya, di rumahnya Emily yang sangat aristokrat itu mereka gathering ya. Pada saat itu si siapa the person and the servant ya, I think is doing the Emily's funeral preparation ya. I think I'd rather say preparation for the funeral. And then it flashback. Nah ini, tapi dia flashback. Flashbacknya apa? Readers learn Emily was told to pay her taxes, tapi dia nggak mau bayar ya kan? Dia cuma ngintip di pintu, kemudian go away, I don't want to pay taxes ya. It indicates her aristocracy position ya. A flashback shows aldermen spreading lime secretly ya. Kemudian ada lagi flashback lagi dari ini, flashback lagi jadi mundur lagi ya, show aldermen spreading lime ya. Nah ada apa, lalu flashback lagi, kok ada spreading lime ya di rumahnya itu gitu. Another flashback reveals Emily purchase arsenic ya, jadi Emily pergi ke apotek ya waktu itu and purchase arsenic ya. What is the arsenic for gitu kan, nggak ada yang tahu waktu itu gitu ya. So we still question what happened with the arsenic, what is it for? Oh Emily bilang for rat gitu kan, karena mau membunuh ratnya itu yang ada di rumahnya gitu. And then climaxnya townspeople break down the door to lock the bedroom. Nah kemudian setelah funeral kemudian ada townspeople penasaran kan, mau melihat itu rumahnya kayak apa gitu. Lalu ada yang menunjukkan oh di atas tuh ada kamar yang masih locked ya, belum dibuka gitu. Kemudian mereka menemukan ya, Homer Baron decomposed body is on the bed. Jadi ada skeleton gitu ya di kamar yang sudah sangat tua itu. Lah resolusinya on the pillow beside him rest a long strand hair. Ini yang terakhir ya. Jadi setelah menemukan the body of Homer Baron, kemudian ditemukan on the pillow beside the dead body of Homer Baron, rest a long strand of gray hair. Whose hair? Karena long, then they conclude that it's Emily's hair. So the question, the penasarannya, yeah, it's very curious ya, the people around Emily Pearson is answered by ketika apa itu arseniknya untuk apa? Oh berarti kemudian you relate this to the dead body of Homer. Kemudian pada saat itu mereka question, where is Homer? Kok lama nggak ketemu? Nggak muncul, oh berarti itu dibunuh oleh Emily menggunakan arsenik itu gitu ya. Lalu untuk untuk apa dibunuh? Nah, itu baru pertanyaan itu terjawab. Ya, so that Emily could sleep beside the dead body of Homer Baron. You know that Emily is suffering from apa? Ada nama penyakitnya itu schizophrenia kalau nggak salah ya, because of the loss of love. Sebetulnya dia dead body, it is the symbol of love ya. Jadi sebenarnya dia menginginkan cintanya Homer Baron ya, yang tidak kunjung karena itu ya. Mungkin Homer itu sebenarnya kan tidak mencintai dia, cuman giving attention saja gitu. Jadi possessive love ya sebetulnya. Oke, nah pertanyaan pada Anda, how did you structure your story when you told it to your partner? Nah, gitu. Ketika Anda bercerita pada teman Anda, what kind of structure did you use? Maaf. Ya, how did you choose the order? Bagaimana Anda choosing the order? Do you prefer chronological order, or do you sometimes also interested in telling them in flashback manner or flash forward manner gitu ya? Itu kan your strategy to impress your audience gitu. Or twist ending juga bisa ya. Which events did you choose to include? Event mana yang menurut Anda harus ada dan kenapa harus ada? Which event did you leave out? Ya, kan sering kamu ketika bercerita kan nggak semua kamu ceritakan. Ada yang ini nggak usah gitu ya. You do not tell all, but you select. Jadi when you select, you include and you leave out kan. Nah, kenapa kok kamu leave out itu gitu kan? What effect did the time limit have on your choices? Jadi kan sama dengan film. Film itu kadang menceritakan 10 tahun, tapi hanya dalam 2 jam kan gitu. Nah, kemudian you leave out some, you emphasize some, you include some kan gitu toh. Nah, efek apa yang didapat ketika Anda leave out some dan include some gitu? What effect did the time limit? Karena hanya 2 jam ya. Padahal itu bercerita 10 tahun kan gitu. Kadang 15 tahun kan gitu, ya kan? Lalu which plot structure do you prefer in films ya? Yang chronological atau apa yang flashback atau yang lain? Oke, nah plot is also related to genre ya. Genre related to expectation ini sebenarnya harus ada satu lagi expectation ya. So you like particular genre, for example you like romance ya. So in romance there is characteristic or expectation, nah gitu. Nah ketika genre-nya romance, plotnya juga akan berbeda gitu ya. Plotnya cenderung bagaimana ya. Kemudian kalau itu katakanlah horor ya. Horror or thriller genre, ya, expectation-nya beda, lalu plotnya beda, maksudnya gitu. Jadi different general types of storytelling itu genre-nya, or classification of movie. Nah, within each genre there is slightly different set of rules of narrative. Ya, jadi intinya genre could influence plot, ya. Why? Because the expectation to certain genre could be different. Ya, jadi ini yang Anda baca. Ya, within each genre there is a slightly different set of rules of narrative construction at work, a slightly different language of narrative structure that is known to both the filmmaker and the audiences. Gitu ya. Jadi ini impact-nya terhadap plot juga ada melalui genre. Ya, jadi surprise ending misalnya gitu itu mungkin menarik untuk genre tertentu gitu ya. Twist ending juga menarik untuk genre tertentu. Okay, and the last part is resolution. What is resolution? Sebetulnya intinya semua itu mencari resolution kan gitu. Tetapi resolution itu juga tidak sama gitu kan. So resolution is the final the final phase of a narrative film that quite simply resolves all the storyline that have been set running. Jadi ini resolution adalah final phase of narrative film. Pada endingnya itu kita mencari ini gitu ya. Film may of course leave some matters unresolved, tapi tidak semua film itu memberikan resolusi pada semua matters. Not all film give resolution to all matters. Some are leave unresolved, gitu ya. Beberapa masalah dibiarkan tidak diberi resolusi, gitu ya, atau menggantung. You call it menggantung ya. Some filmmakers have in one way or another refused to totally close down the possibilities and left room for readers. Ini why they let some matters unresolved, because some filmmakers want the reader to over possibility gitu ya. Jadi ditolaknya bukan karena apa, tetapi justru karena supaya gitu ya. So to give possibilities for readers to also contribute or participate. So in more contemporary movie, the ending is not clear, yeah. But the unclear ending has a purpose, yeah, to give opportunity for readers, or in this case, in the case of movie, is spectator to participate. Yeah, jadi participation of reader is also one of the characteristic of contemporary movie. Nah, pertanyaannya, which kind of resolution do you like to have? Kalau kamu suka yang jelas gitu ya, very clear, ya, or blur, ya, because if the filmmaker give you wide opportunity, berarti nggak ada conclusion kan, yang bikin conclusionnya Anda sendiri kan gitu. For some readers it's like frustrating, kok nggak ada, kok nggak jelas, kok gini gitu ya. But for other readers it is an opportunity for them to participate. Okay, so which kind of resolution do you like to have? Which kind of resolution do you favor? Mas Ridwan, Ashari?
Yes, ma'am.
Which kind of resolution do you like to have?
I think unclear resolution, ma'am. So we could after we watch the movie and the ending is not totally clear.
Mm-hmm. You like that kind of story? Do you like that kind of story?
Yes.
Yeah. Why? Why do you like unclear ending or hanging ending?
Hello.
Hello. Mm-hmm.
Because if through the unclear ending we could use our imagination to seperti menebak what will be happen,
yeah,
with the ending. And if we watch a movie with other person, we can make a discussion about the ending in our version. I think just like that.
Thank you, Mas.
All right, ma'am.
What about the plot, Mas? Do you like the chronological or do you like the unchronological plot?
For the plot, I think I like both, ma'am.
You like both?
Yes.
What do you mean by like both?
Sometimes I like chronological plot, and sometimes I like the unchronological plot.
Isn't it more challenging, the unchronological? Do you think?
Yes. Yes, because it make us become curious when we watch the movie. Kok ceritanya kok seperti ini, ada apa gitu, Ma'am?
Yeah. So you are challenged more, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So you like to be challenged?
I think it is, ma'am.
Yeah. So you come for movie not only to receive, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, but also to
Know deeper about the movie.
no. Related to plot. You come to movie not only to receive, but also to fill in, ya, to participate, ya. Ya, gitu ya. Jadi kan banyak pembaca atau penonton itu yang datang hanya untuk menonton, maksudnya untuk menerima. The case of my father, for example. He doesn't want to be confused by plot. He doesn't want to be confused by unclear ending because he just want to receive. But for some of you, I think you don't come to receive. You also come to be challenged. You also come to be questioned. You also come to participate. You also come to think, ya, not only to receive, kan gitu, Mas?
Yes, ma'am.
Sehingga right. Untuk the case of Pulp Fiction sebagai contoh ya, Pulp Fiction itu bagi traditional watcher, I think it's very confusing gitu. Tapi for some advanced reader, advanced watcher, maybe it is challenging, it is sexy, because you come not only to receive but also to offer gitu. Okay?